In 1906, deep in the forests of Washington state, a brand new lumber town promised thousands of workers a prosperous future. Powerful sawmills roared day and night, trains carried endless timber across America, and families believed they had finally found a place where hard work would guarantee success. But within only a few decades, the machines fell silent, the homes were abandoned, and nature slowly swallowed everything. Today, the forgotten ruins still teach a lesson that time has never stopped repeating. Worrying about the future changes nothing. Only the work you do today has the power to change tomorrow. In the spring of 1906, the dense forests surrounding the small community of Bordeaux, Washington, echoed with the sounds of axes, steam-powered sawmills, and locomotives hauling giant Douglas fir logs. America was expanding rapidly, and timber had become one of the nation's most valuable resources. Among the hundreds of workers arriving in Bordeaux was a 27-year-old lumberjack named Daniel Brooks. Daniel came from a poor farming family in Oregon. Years of failed harvests had left his parents struggling to survive. Determined to help them, Daniel accepted one of the most dangerous jobs in the Pacific Northwest. Every morning before sunrise, he entered forests where trees towered hundreds of feet above the ground. A single mistake could mean death. The work was exhausting. Rain soaked his clothes almost daily. Heavy logs crushed workers without warning. Broken machinery caused terrible accidents. Yet Daniel rarely complained, because every paycheck meant food for his parents and hope for a better future. Unlike many workers, however, Daniel constantly worried. What if the mill closes? What if I lose my job? What if the forest runs out? What if I never become successful? Those questions followed him everywhere. One evening after work, Daniel sat beside a campfire with an elderly foreman named Jacob Miller, a man who had spent more than 30 years cutting timber throughout the American West. Daniel sighed. I keep thinking about what could go wrong. Jacob quietly placed another log onto the fire. The forest doesn't fall because we worry, he replied. It falls because we keep swinging the axe. Daniel looked puzzled. Jacob smiled. You can't cut tomorrow's tree today. Those words stayed in Daniel's mind. Still, he continued worrying. By 1908, Bordeaux had become one of the busiest logging towns in Washington. New homes appeared, a school opened, a church welcomed growing families, merchants arrived every month. Everyone believed the town's future was secure. Daniel worked harder than ever, but while others spent evenings laughing with family or enjoying community gatherings, Daniel remained trapped inside endless thoughts about the future. He saved money obsessively. He refused small pleasures. He lost sleep imagining disasters that had not happened. Then one autumn morning, disaster actually arrived. A powerful windstorm swept across the forest. Several enormous trees collapsed unexpectedly during logging operations. Workers ran for safety. Daniel narrowly escaped after a falling trunk crushed the ground only feet away. The accident killed 2 experienced lumbermen. For days afterward, Daniel could think of nothing except how close he had come to dying. He suddenly realized something unsettling. He had spent years fearing imaginary disasters, while never truly appreciating the life he already had. The weeks following the accident changed him. Jacob noticed immediately. You look different, the old foreman said. Daniel nodded. I've been worrying about tomorrow so much that I forgot today. Jacob smiled quietly. Most people learn that lesson too late. Daniel still worked hard. In fact, he worked harder than ever, but something important had changed. Instead of wasting energy worrying about problems beyond his control, he focused entirely on doing today's work well. He learned new machinery, studied timber management, helped younger workers improve their skills. He became known throughout Bordeaux as one of the most dependable men in the company. Years passed. Daniel earned promotions. Eventually, he supervised logging operations across several camps. His success did not come because he predicted the future. It came because he consistently improved the work placed before him each day. Then, history changed once again. By the 1920s, nearby forests had become increasingly depleted. Transportation routes shifted. Larger lumber companies moved operations elsewhere. Slowly, Bordeaux began shrinking. Families relocated. Businesses closed. The once busy railroad carried fewer trains. Eventually, the town was abandoned almost entirely. Nature reclaimed the streets. Wooden houses collapsed beneath moss and rain. The sawmills disappeared into silence. Today, Bordeaux is remembered as one of Washington's forgotten ghost towns. Visitors who discover its hidden ruins often wonder why such a successful place vanished. Some blame economics, others blame changing industries. But Daniel, who lived long enough to watch the town disappear, believed Bordeaux had left behind a greater lesson than abandoned buildings. One afternoon, years after the town had emptied, he returned to the place where the old sawmill once stood. Only broken foundations remained. Trees had become growing where machines once roared. Standing there, Daniel remembered Jacob's words beside the campfire decades earlier. You can't cut tomorrow's tree today. He finally understood their full meaning. No amount of worrying could have saved Bordeaux.
No amount of fear could have stopped history from changing. But honest work had changed his own life. It had supported his family, built his character, created opportunities, and given him peace that worry never could. Today, forgotten logging towns across America continue telling similar stories. Abandoned railways, silent sawmills, empty homes hidden beneath towering forests. Each reminds us that the future has always been uncertain. History changes, economics changes, entire towns disappear. But one truth remains unchanged. Worry has never built a future. Only effort has. Because while fear imagines tomorrow, hard work quietly creates it. And beneath the towering trees of Washington's forgotten forests, the abandoned remains of Bordeaux still whisper the same timeless lesson.